western and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Osborne. Today's Saturday, May 14th. After a very stormy week, let's see what our Brandon Robinson has to say about the weekend. Yesterday was beautiful.
It was.
But this week was not. So are we seeing great weather this weekend or bad weather?
I love how you just put the pressure on me right out of the gate. It's just like, give me good weather.
We need good weather.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's a half and half weekend, and today is not the good half.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. But it is a beautiful start to the day, so enjoy that. But the clouds are already starting to roll in, unfortunately. Let's take a look. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Not much right now, but some rain chances around the corner. You see them back out toward I-64, out toward Louisville, out toward central Kentucky. I think we see some spotty chances throughout the day, but as we come toward daylight on the National Weather Service camera up at Jackson, there it is. Beautiful conditions. Quite a bit of fog, though, this morning in some spots, especially around bodies of water, so keep that in mind if you're traveling early this morning. But some sunshine to start us off. Temperatures right now in the 40s and 50s, 48 Harlan, 47 Middlesboro, 55, though, in Paintsville, 50s down toward Lake Cumberland and I-75 and into southwest Virginia. But as we go into the Mezzanette, you can see some cooler temperatures here, especially down toward the border, 47 in Whitesburg, 46 in Barberville. We're at 56 out toward Columbia, 56 up in West Liberty, and 50 in Louisa right now. Extended forecast for today. We start off a bit chilly, low 50s, upper 40s as mentioned, and then we'll see the clouds gradually start to roll in. By lunchtime, unfortunately, I think we see a few chances for showers, and then things start to get a little drier toward the evening, but we only get to 60 today. The extended forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
Brandon, thank you. Social media concerns. As its popularity grew, the Magoffin County Superintendent's skepticism did as well. That's why he says when a mother came to him with concerns about a teacher sending inappropriate messages, he took action. Now the teacher is suspended and could be fired. The case is now in the hands of state police. Magoffin County Superintendent Stanley Holbrook confirms the student who received the messages in question is a female student at the high school, and the teacher is a man. But he does not teach at the high school. The superintendent wants parents to know he and police are doing everything they can to figure out what happened and what the consequences might be. WYMT's Tanner Hesberg was there and has more.
Magoffin County school officials and Kentucky State Police are working to determine whether a teacher exchanged Facebook messages inappropriately with a student. Superintendent Stanley Holbrook says a concerned parent told him about the messages.
First of all, no teacher should be messaging, or any staff member at the school should ever be messaging a child other than school homework or school activities or the ball game's been called off or something like that.
Holbrook says there's no evidence the teacher had sexual contact with the student, but he says inappropriate messaging is still a fireable offense if it turns out to be true.
But I want everybody in this community and in our little area here to understand that we'll do whatever it takes to safeguard our students, so that we want them to have a positive experience in school.
As they try to determine whether a teacher crossed the line.
The superintendent says the teacher is not the coach of a sports team. If you need to take US 23 this weekend in Floyd County to get around, some relief is in sight. For 3 days, a mudslide shut down a portion of the heavily traveled road, but now 2 lanes are open. WYMT's Alex Casper-Peak spoke to a man who said it's been hard just to get out of his driveway along the detour.
It's a big nightmare, yeah.
Traffic is causing a headache for some on Kentucky 1426.
I can usually get out through here in 5-10 minutes from the house on the 4-lane. Now it takes an hour and a half to get out there. It's outrageous.
Luke Kidd lives along the stretch of road and says it's become jammed with traffic.
Hey, it's hard to get out of the driveway. You got to sit there 15-20 minutes to get out of the driveway. Traffic coming down, traffic coming up, you can't get out.
While it's the only way around the rock slide, Kidd says he can't wait for an open road.
I'm ready for the road to open up. Big time.
Highway officials made his dream a reality late Friday afternoon as they opened up 2 lanes of the highway, relieving some of the traffic flow.
The southbound lanes will carry 2-way traffic for the distance of the barrier wall.
Officials plan to keep 2 lanes of US 23 closed through the weekend.
Drivers are still encouraged to use the detour. Using both US 23 and the Kentucky 1426 will help keep traffic flowing. State health leaders say flu season is showing no signs of slowing down in Kentucky. They say typically flu season ends in May, but they're still confirming new flu cases around the state. This week, state health leaders say they confirmed a new flu death in Powell County. It's the second flu death in Powell County in the last 2 months. Yesterday, a jury in Bell County heard more evidence in a murder trial. Prosecutors are outlining their case against William Anderson. Police say in 2011, Anderson and James Sizemore stabbed Bobby Wiggins to death. Sizemore pleaded guilty in the case. During the trial yesterday morning, prosecutors called several witnesses to the stand. It is expected to last through the weekend. In Clay County, a jury found Rodney Bowling guilty in a deadly crash case. In October of 2014, Bowling was under the influence and caused a crash that killed 50-year-old Ronnie Mitchell. Another person was also injured. A judge set sentencing for August 29th. Yesterday, a judge ruled the 2 men charged with the murder of Michael Hogg in Letcher County will remain behind bars without bond while they await trial. You'll recall Michael Hogg was stabbed multiple times just a few hours into 2014 in downtown Whitesburg. Hogg's mother says her son's death wounds her family still feels nearly 2.5 years later. WYMT's Matthew Rand was in the courtroom yesterday and has more.
He always had a smile on his face, and he was always trying to make people laugh.
Family members say Michael Hogg, seen here playing basketball for Letcher County Central High School, was a young man with a big heart.
Michael, he was a joy. I mean, everybody loved him. He didn't hesitate 1 minute to tell you he loved you.
James Huffman and Patrick Smith are charged with Hogg's murder. At Friday's bond hearing, the judge overruled Smith's request for bond, stating that while this is not a death penalty case, it is a case of capital murder.
Had the court ruled that that section of the Constitution was no longer valid, there are undoubtedly many cases across the state where people are being held without bond, and that would have had a big impact.
Connie Hogg says she wishes none of this was happening, knowing that her son isn't coming home.
Now we know when that phone rings, he's not going to be on the other line, you know, and he's not going to walk through the door anymore. So it's a big hole in her heart.
As the case moves toward trial, Hogg says her family hopes for justice and looks forward to putting this painful chapter behind them.
Smith and Huffman will be back in court June 10th for a hearing to look at possible changes of venue for their respective trials. Attorneys for the defense declined to comment. Next Monday, we could learn more about the circumstances behind a Johnson County mother's arrest. Deputies arrested Julie Jones early this week. They say she put her 2 children in danger. Inside her home, investigators told us they found homemade cookers, syringes, marijuana pipes, and drugs. Jones pleads not guilty in the case. She faces drug and wanton endangerment charges. 10 days, 100 grams. Barberville police seized more than 100 grams of meth between May 2nd and May 12th. But Detective Steve Owens says none of the people arrested are known dealers. WYMT's Haley Minogue took a closer look at why people could have this much meth on them.
Downtown Barberville is a pretty busy place. With hundreds of cars driving through and around town, police are always making traffic stops. But in the past 10 days, they found more than they bargained for.
We had an officer that initiated a traffic stop and subsequently found somewhere around 50 grams of methamphetamine in relation to that stop and the search incident to that arrest.
But it didn't stop after they arrested James Patterson from Indiana on May 2nd. Less than a week later, several grams were found after they stopped Jeffrey Mills. 2 days later, police found 30 grams in the backpack and bra of Heather Boggs. Then only 2 days passed before 18 grams of meth, other drugs, and cash were found in Dale and Marlena McFarland's home on Pine Street.
They're officers, they're doing a good job, and it's a good thing that we're able to take some of this off of the street. It's perseverance on their part in doing their job and being thorough.
Detective Owens says it's not unusual to find meth here in Barberville. In fact, it makes up about 70 to 80% of the drug arrests that they make. What's unusual about this case is the amount that they're finding on these people.
All of these people would not be considered higher level drug dealers, even locally. They would be lower level. So considering the amount that we're seeing there makes you wonder exactly how flooded that we are at the moment with crystal meth.
I went to the Knox County Detention Center and requested to speak with the 4 people who were still behind bars.
I'd like to request a jailhouse interview with a couple inmates that are here.
All 4 declined.
Later on this morning, Detective Owens explains 2 different reasons why he believes the police department is seeing an increase in the amount of meth people are possessing. Now to an update on a Pike County theft case. Deputies need your help finding Jason Hill and Brandon Hall along with Stephanie Briggs. Yesterday they issued warrants for all 3. It's in relation to a theft and vandalism case involving EQT equipment in Virgie. Deputies say this video led to a tip that we shared with you on May 5th. You can call deputies at 606-432-6260 with information. In Laurel County, an argument about a parking spot landed one man in jail. The sheriff's office posted on Facebook that Cornelius Dixon pulled a gun on another man during the argument at the Pilot off the West Cumberland Gap Parkway. Dixon is charged with wanton endangerment. For those traveling in Pikeville, you can feel a little safer. 4 years ago, police started the Drive Down program. Their goal, to cut down on deadly crashes. Yesterday, they celebrated a milestone. Once Pike County led the state in fatal crashes, last year it dropped to 13th. While safer, they still ask you to keep vigilant as less crashes can lead to lower insurance rates. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, teaming up while Pike County made improvements. Up next, we'll tell you how police in Kentucky and Tennessee hope to see a similar result. And later in sports, addressing the Big Blue Nation, UK women's coach Matthew Mitchell reveals what he has learned from the recent string of player departures.
It's a beautiful start to the morning, but unfortunately the clouds are already rolling in. The latest forecast coming in.
When you play